Hello again. Today we have an interesting topic with 5 tips to controlling or removing algae from your aquarium, especially if you're next to a window. Everyone in the hobby deals with algae to some extent, so I'm definitely excited to talk about this. Before we dive in, please make sure to subscribe down below, as we'll have more videos coming out weekly and you won't want to miss those. First of all, aquarium algae is a completely normal thing and everyone will encounter it at some point, especially if you're near a window or have direct sunlight like 2 of my tanks. There are many different types of algae, but today we're just going to focus on the most common types and the prevention of them. A few types of algae, such as blackbeard, may require some extra efforts. There are a handful of causes of algae, from water parameters to lighting, and it can be especially tricky if your tank is near windows like me. I'm in a Chicago apartment, and with limited locations for space for tanks, my options were either to have no aquariums or to battle algae, and that was an easy choice for me. Luckily, neither of my tanks, including the 38-gallon in my sunroom, have direct sunlight for more than about 30 minutes to an hour per day. But that combined with some overhead lighting throughout the rest of the day has caused some algae growth. So here are 5 quick tips to combating algae when your tank is near windows. Excessive lighting is one of the main causes of algae growth, and a simple way to reduce this is to use your lights for less time in the day. Reducing the number of hours with lights on by a few hours per day can make a huge difference. Just be sure to make the change gradually if you have live plants, as you'll want to find a balance between keeping the plants thriving without the algae building up. Tank maintenance is very important in controlling algae. Water changes and filter maintenance are necessary, and if you're by a window like me, you will likely need to increase your frequency of these. Algae growth is fueled by ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate caused from fish waste and decaying food. To control for this buildup in my tanks, I do 50% water changes twice per week, whereas I'd probably only need to do about 1 per week if I didn't have this direct sunlight. When I'm doing water changes, I also scrub down the glass with a mag float or some kind of magnet cleaner. Amazon has these for pretty cheap. Make sure you order the appropriate size scrubber for the thickness of your glass, which is one mistake I made. You can also buy one of these long scrubbers if you don't want to put your hands actually in the tank. While scrubbing off the algae, it will be sucked up during the water change and removed from your tank. Water movement is important as it will reduce the amount of dead spots in your tank where waste may build up and hurt your water parameters. By having adequate filtration and even adding a water pump like this one here, waste is picked up and properly filtered instead of supplying algae with an abundance of fuel to grow. Live plants are great against algae for 2 reasons. They help remove nitrates from the tank, and they also consume the nutrients that the algae needs, which essentially starves algae and prevents growth altogether. Some plants are better at this than others. In this tank here, I have water wisteria, ludwigia, and hornwort floating up at the top, and these are great against algae, while my jungle val and my marble queen plants have really struggled once algae grew on their leaves. I am a huge fan of snails in the aquarium. I actually put 3 of these in my 38-gallon tank a few weeks ago, and algae has cleared up significantly. Snails also break down fish waste, providing another benefit for your aquarium. You can get cleaner fish as well, such as plecos, but just keep in mind that some of these can get huge, and they also produce a ton of waste, which you then have to clean yourself anyway. As fish keepers, it's really our job to maintain the tank, and I'd only recommend getting plecos or algae eaters as a complement to this, or if you actually like and want the fish. Snails are an easy addition without the added waste and size issues, and I'm really pleased with mine so far. So that's 5 tips of algae control. If your tanks are near direct sunlight, These will be helpful ways of controlling the issues. I hope you found this interesting, and as always, if you like this content, please consider subscribing down below. We'll have exciting videos and topics coming out each week, and you won't want to miss out. Thanks again for watching.